Welcome to Highest and Best Self. My name is Nikkei Star, and today's topic we're going to discuss is how do you live your highest and best self? How do you live that life, I should say? Is that possible, Nikkei, or what does that really mean? Well, I'm here to give you some tips on that. And the answer is, can you live your highest and best self life? Yes. Is it real? Absolutely, absolutely. And the beautiful thing about it is, it's all about our perceptions for what that means for us. Once you get that realization, you're not held to the world or society or your family or your friends, what they think is the highest and best for you. It's really coming to a place in your life where you're at a point of surrender. And you're almost literally saying it's got to be more to life than this. The catalyst for a lot of my clients and even myself, what brings us to this space of wanting to be our highest and best self is sometimes there's a crisis. There's a huge awakening, a moment, a aha moment, or you start looking at yourself in your life, and you sometimes think about the childhood dreams you had, or some people after a death in their family or a death of a loved one, or a breakup in a relationship. A lot of times you start looking at yourself. So the first step into how do I live my highest and best life? The first step is surrender. And whatever that looks like for you. You know, some people, all right, God, I give up. I'm out. I don't understand. You need to take the wheel. There's a reason that's a song. Jesus take the wheel is real. I give up. I'm going over to the passenger side. You just drive because I'm done. Or it's enough is enough. Why am I on this hamster wheel? Why do I keep finding myself in the same place, different time, but same place, different time, same man, but a different man, same type of relationship, but it's a different person? Why am I the way that I am? Where does this fear come from? Or where does this anxiety come from? And we get to this point in our life, what I call in the sessions is actually the wave. The wave file is almost like the trigger that indicates to the vessel, we need more help. I surrender. I can't do this by myself. And that's the opening of the door to let you know you're not in this by yourself. You're not alone. There is God and angels and awakened beings and ascended masters and your ancestors and angels, and so many people are rooting for us, and in our present life, our family, our friends, our neighbors. And sometimes it doesn't feel that way until you die. That's the sad thing. It's like, when they say give a person their flowers while they're living. When someone passes away, that's when all the people want to come out and say how much they love them, how much they cared for them, and how much that person means to them, and how much they're going to miss them. And the key to living your highest and best life is to live that and receive that in your present life. So I think the second part after surrender is to know you're worth it. That's what they call self-love, self-care. When we start seeing our true light and not being so hard on ourselves, and loving on ourselves more. It's something as simple as what they call mirror work, where I know some women, we look at ourselves in the mirror. As soon as we look in the mirror, you're like, oh my God, my hair is why didn't you tell me my hair is this, or I'm fat, or oh my gosh, I got mustard on my shirt. And it's no. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, hello, beautiful. Wow, you're gorgeous. You're so pretty. Oh my gosh, you have such pretty eyes. And it sounds weird to you yourself to say that. But all those people who love us, and all those people who are rooting for us, and all those people who are cheering for us, we're not saying it to ourselves. How can you receive it when someone else says it to you? And so the second step I would say is how to live your highest and best life. How to be your highest and best self is surrender, number one. And number two is to know you're worth it. To say, what, you know what? Is this what I deserve? Is this what I'm about? Is who I am? And am I loving on myself the way that I want him to love me or her to love me? And when you start going within and you say, I want to love myself more, and whatever that looks like. Then the third thing is, once you start tapping into loving yourself, it shifts your frequency. And that's what it means when it says your highest and best self. It's you are already perfect, but it's for you to see yourself as that. See yourself as a wonderful being. See yourself as God's creation, made in his own image. Then you kind of decide, what do I like? You start loving yourself, figuring that part out. And then the third thing is deciding, what do I want? Because when you are, like a lot of us, hard on ourselves, we decide what we want is what everybody else wants. Or we'll decide whatever we want can wait. But when you start that self-love journey, that self-worth journey, that self-care journey, trust and believe, you'll be amazed at the things that will come up as you start to look at, what do I want? I even do something for what I call little Nikkei. Because there's some things from my childhood that little Nikkei likes. Little Nikkei loves to watch Elf year round. And I indulge little Nikkei. Little Nikkei loves Tinkerbell. And I'm a grandmother. I have grandbabies. But I indulge when that urge comes. Or little Nikkei that inner child wants to come out and play and feel safe. And you indulge that. And as you gingerly take those steps and decide, I've surrendered, I love myself, what do I want? And then that's when you get to play. And you begin to create the life you want. And with highest and best selves, we look at what I call the 4 pillars in our life. And the 4 pillars are spirituality. Our spiritual life. Some people's spiritual life is singing in the church choir. Some are reading their Bible. Others, it's prayer and meditation. Some, it's chanting. For some, it's hiking. It's what is your spiritual life? What connects you to God? For me, it's spending time at the beach and listening to the waves and being out on the water. And then you have some, it's the mountains. It's going out in the desert. It's what is it for you that connects you to God? Because the beautiful thing about God is he meets all of us where we are. He knows us better than we know ourselves. So you don't have to put on a face or a front or say a perfect prayer. You seek him and he'll meet you where you are. And the second thing is health and wellness. As you begin to love on yourself and do what makes you happy, it shifts our energy. It shifts our frequency. It helps people with stress relief. It helps people with health problems and anxiety and depression. A lot of times those who are dealing with those debilitating diseases, and yes, depression is debilitating. People are hurting more than ever with the current climate of the world we're living in. And dealing with that, you have to seek spirit. You have to seek a spiritual life. And when you start to love on yourself and accept yourself, it literally helps relieve some of that pressure that you have around your health and your wellness. The root of all diseases and ailments in our body, a lot of times, is stress. Stress. And that is what is the first thing that causes a lot of major health issues. The third thing is, where am I going in my life with my career? What is my dream career? What is my dream business? Or I just want to do my job and retire. But it's about, how do we bring in our wealth? How do we bring in our abundance? And that's subject to every person. Some people feel like, I am wealthy because I'm not living in a cardboard box. That is wealth. Staying in a former pantry with a twin bed, and I got a bar to hang some clothes on it, and I'm not sleeping outside. I am a rich and prosperous man. And there are others who feel, I want 3 mansions in the U.S., 2 on the French Riviera, a chateau here, and a beach house there. And that's their level of wealth and abundance. But just as God meets us where we are, you meet yourself where you are comfortable, where you are most happy. Some people are driven and they want success and a lot of wealth and a lot of cars, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's, what do you do when you get it? And how well do you sleep at night? And do you live by the principle that you're blessed to be a blessing? Or, or are you going down that trail of life for your path, and because it's for greed, and that's another cycle back to your health. So one of our main things is health, and then there's wealth. And that's what it looks like for you. Some just want to be able to go to sleep and have their kids fed that night, and have a reliable car, and be able to pay the light bill, and they are winning. And it's wherever you feel is for your highest and best self, whatever that looks like. And then the fourth one is our love life and relationships. And not just love relationships, our family relationships, our community relationships, relationships with our business partners and our co-workers. And it's those 4 areas that, they trickle down from the first thing, which is surrender, and the second, self-love, knowing you're worthy. And as you begin to go down that path, whatever that looks like for you, you can have a session with me. And the modality that I use to help remove blocks out of our bodies is called Reunion. It's a healing modality that utilizes kinesiology, which is muscle testing. And we utilize visualization. We visualize we use hand mudras. We do prayer. And it's a wealth of different energies that come in to heal all of us in the session. I do them individually, one-on-one. You can have a private session with me, or you can join a group session. And the group sessions are generally for those who are looking for the main 4 that I spoke about. Spiritual awakening, which is done on Sundays. And then there's health and wellness Wednesdays. And then there is Wealth and Abundance Thursdays. And then there's, I always love to do love and relationships, which is done on Fridays. So I hope this gives you just a little bit, it's just a smidge of information about how can I live my highest and best life. Is that real? How do you do that? Is it a fantasy? No, it's an absolute reality. And you can. And if you want it, you can have it. It starts with just being in surrender and then loving yourself and know you're worth it. And then you go down the path that leads you to that destination. And I would be honored for you to allow me to witness you going down the path of your highest and best selves. So I hope this gave you a little bit of information about what we do at Highest and Best Selves. And I pray that this video gives you the shift you would like. It's going to shift your frequency. You're going to look at yourself differently in the mirror. You're going to start looking at your spiritual life and walking towards that and looking at what can I do to feel healthier for myself? What can I do to relieve stress? What do I want? And start doing it. Just take your time and go towards it. And believe me, the path will meet you when you're ready. That's all for now. Thank you. I'm honored to be able to share a little bit more about what we do here. And have a great rest of your day.